Prince William's overpopulation remarks will do women no favors. As I was looking for reactions to the speech the second in line to the British throne gave at an award ceremony on Monday, where he said, "The increasing pressure on Africa's wildlife and wild spaces, as a result of human population, presents a huge challenge for conservationists." I stumbled upon near-identical remarks he made 4 years prior. The second challenge to the prince's statement centers on the inaccurate conclusions drawn about Africa's rising population. While Africa's population is indeed growing, it remains more sparsely populated than Europe or Asia. Indigenous communities that live closest to wildlife are typically excellent custodians of the environment, as their survival depends on it, and again, it is human behaviors and not human numbers that more directly harm the biosphere. But there is more that is wrong with what Prince William said. Identifying population growth as the problem logically presents population control as the solution. This automatically transforms wombs into legitimate sites for climate policy. In other words, women's rights to contraception and education are weaponized. They are no longer tools that help women access greater choice, but instead this gender equality goal is hijacked to impose someone else's agenda.
Prince William seems to have avoided speculating on how to fix his problem. His grandfather, the Duke of Edinburgh, was not so wise and was known to have called for a voluntary family limitation to address a growing human population. This is not the first time, nor will it be the last, that women's bodies are implicated in policy games. In 2017, Denmark, which regularly tops best country to be a woman rankings, pledged additional funds to help women access family planning because part of the solution to reducing migratory pressures on Europe is to reduce the very high population growth in many African countries. It should be obvious to all that panic about population growth in Black, brown, and indigenous parts of the world is underpinned by race and class prejudice. It should be equally obvious that what every woman needs is the freedom to choose for herself if, when and how many children she will have. If despite years of talking about conservation Prince William has not considered that his concern for Africa's wildlife could stigmatize Africa's women, perhaps now is the time for him to do so. Story of the Week: read or listen to the opening investigation from the new As Equals series, White Lies, on how the misuse of topical corticosteroids as a skin lightening agent is leading to drug dependencies for millions of people in India. The story by Pallavi Munshi also explores how the deep-seated belief that lighter skin tones are better than darker ones is manifest in India's marriage culture. Fairness mania is fueling a dangerous drug dependency in India. Women behaving badly. Kano Sugako, written by Vanessa Offiongshi, often condemned society's praising of feminine virtues such as chastity. Where do all of these depraved men get the right to emphasize chastity? Before they begin stressing women's chastity, they ought to perfect their own male chastity, and concentrate on becoming wise fathers and good husbands. But Sugako was also opposed to sex work, seeing geishas at first as morally corrupt individuals and later as fallen women. Born into hardship, Sugako became a central figure in the early Japanese anarchist and socialist movements and urged women to develop self-awareness. For us women, the most urgent task is to develop our own self-awareness. Women with some education and some degree of social knowledge must surely be discontented and angry about their status, she wrote. In 1910, she was accused by the Japanese government for her alleged role in the high treason incident to assassinate Emperor Meiji. This led to her death by hanging at age 29, making her the first woman political prisoner to be executed in the history of modern Japan. Other stories worth your time. Join the conversation. Over the next 6 months, White Lies will be investigating skin whitening practices worldwide, with the aim of exposing the underlying drivers of colorism, the industry that profits from it, and the cost to individuals and communities globally. Share your story with us on social media using the hashtag #fightingwhitening, or send us a tip by emailing asequals@cnn.com.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe,